Hey guys, Movies Hunter here. So today I'm gonna explain an adventure crime drama film, and it's supposed to be mysterious and suspense. Is that a word? So that's why I'm talking like this. This movie is released in 2015 called Regression. The movie opens in Minnesota in 1990, where we see a man named John who arrives at the police to confess to his crimes. His 17-year-old daughter, Angela, and I hate that name so let's name her Angeli, has accused him of sexually abusing her. Detective Bruce investigates the case and asks John, "Why did you do this, John?" But John says, "I have no recollection of the abuse." But since according to him, Angeli never lies, he definitely must have done it. As Bruce is confident that John is guilty, he decides to seek the help of a psychologist to help John remember. Bruce then goes to meet John's mother, who explains that she didn't know anything about the abuse. Since Angeli is in shock, she has decided to stay in the church. Bruce then goes to inspect Angeli's room, but he doesn't find anything fishy. His partner, Detective George from Peppa Pig, reveals that Angeli has a brother named Roy, who ran away from the house 2 years ago. George says that he doesn't believe Angeli's story and that she may be lying. Angeli never had a normal childhood, and she lost her mother at an early age, so she may want to get away from her home by framing her father. But Bruce doesn't believe this, as he is confident that John is guilty. The next day, Professor Kenneth arrives at the police station to study John's case. He concludes that John isn't trying to play any games with them. The only reason John turned himself in is that he used to be a drunkard who spent the previous few years trying to quit. On one hand, he has done some awful things in the past, but on the other hand, he has turned to faith and suppressed his memories, which he doesn't want to remember. So Kenneth and Bruce decide to use recovered memory therapy to help John retrieve his memories. After some struggle, John manages to remember that he once went to Angela's room last year at night. A man is seen tying Angela's hands and legs to the bed while John is recording everything. It turns out that the man with John is Detective George from Peppa Pig. So Bruce confronts George and arrests him under suspicion of assaulting Angeli. Bruce then decides to meet Angeli and takes Kenneth with him, as he wants some evidence that he can use to prove George guilty. The two then go to the church, where they ask Angeli to describe what happened to her. Angeli reveals, "I was abused by some people in masks who were trying to summon the devil by branding me with a reverse cross on my stomach." Angela also identifies George as one of the masked men. Bruce is now slowly getting obsessed with the case, as he feels that something big is going on in the town. The cops eventually manage to find Angeli's strange brother Roy, who is currently living in Pittsburgh. So Bruce and Kenneth go to meet Roy and ask him, "Why did you leave the house?" Roy says that whatever Angeli told them is a lie and nothing ever happened. But Bruce and Kenneth realize that he is hiding something, so they decide to use regressive hypnosis on him as well to know what happened in his childhood. Roy recalls seeing some people in hoods entering his room when he was young. Roy is terrified of them, as they all look scary and had ill intentions towards him. But Ken feels something is wrong, as Angeli mentioned that the abuse started a year ago, but according to Roy's vision, it actually happened when they were children. Bruce doesn't find it weird and suspects that Angeli's grandma Rose may be involved as well. So they search the entire house but don't find anything to prove she was involved. During the checkup, Angeli refuses to show the mark on her stomach, so Bruce tries talking to her and comforts her. Bruce assures her that he will do whatever it takes to protect her and get the culprits behind bars soon. So Angeli reluctantly shows him the mark and warns him that now they will kill him too, as he too has seen the mark. She also reveals that her grandma is also part of the cult. One day, Angeli goes to meet Bruce in his office and tells him that she is being followed. She also reveals that her mama was followed before she met with an accident that led to her death. Bruce is horrified by this and feels that he should do whatever it takes to protect Angeli. So he listens to her recordings over and over and over to find any clue to catch the members of the cult. Later that night, Bruce is attacked by some mysterious hooded figures who inject him with something. A young girl then gets on top of Bruce for some satanic ritual. But to his horror, she turns into Angela's grandma. All soggy and old. But it turns out that it was just a nightmare and nothing else. Bruce is losing his patience and getting too attached to the case. Meanwhile, Rose too begins experiencing nightmares and is going crazy. Because of this, she ends up injuring herself. The next day, Bruce goes to talk to Angeli in the church's cemetery. Bruce assures her that, "I believe you." And after an emotional outburst, Angela kisses him. Bruce is shocked by this and leaves immediately. Roy then returns to the town to meet his grandma, but he is devastated to see her condition and blames Bruce and the others for making her think that she abused him. The father tells Bruce and Ken that the devil is trying to confuse them and make them do things. When Bruce returns home, he gets a call, but when he receives it, no one answers. He recalls that Angeli had told him they would call their targets in the middle of the night and then hang up. But it turns out that Angeli is making the calls to Bruce and hanging up without saying anything. Bruce is getting paranoid and gets another nightmare, where he sees an old lady performing a satanic ritual again. His nightmare intensifies and he just can't run away from it. Because of this, he feels threatened and thinks that everyone is following him in the streets. On top of that, he learns that George is released, which makes him even more frustrated. Even though there is no proof against George, Bruce is confident that George is guilty, but Ken thinks otherwise as he says that the mark on Angeli's stomach seems to be self-inflicted, which suggests that Angeli may be making this all up. Later on, Bruce goes to talk to John and asks him about Roy. John says that the reason I kicked Roy out of his house was that Roy is gay. Bruce realizes that Ken might be right and that Angeli is making things up. Later on, John sees a soup advertisement on the street and he recognizes the woman in it as she is actually the one he sees in his nightmare. So he goes straight to meet Ken and tells him that all these nightmares they are having are induced by therapy, that the whole situation is just a result of mass hysteria. However, the professor rejects the idea and says that that's not possible. When Bruce returns home, he is attacked by two hooded figures, but Bruce manages to grab his gun and stop them. It turns out that they are George and their colleague Farrell. George says that he was seeking revenge as Bruce ruined his career by detaining him as a child molester. Bruce tells them that he won't report this, only if George tells him everything he knows. After learning everything from him, Bruce goes to meet Angeli. He confronts Angeli about her abuse, but she insists that she told him the truth. But Bruce realizes that Angeli was fabricating everything from the very beginning and that she was never abused. She hated her family and wanted to escape from them for good. She feared that she would end up like her mother if she stays with them. On top of that, she had a sexual relationship with George for some time when she opened up to him. But George refused to elope with the minor and left her. So Angeli accused her father so that she can escape the house. Angeli accepts everything but tells him that no one is going to believe him, especially if she tells him that they kissed in the cemetery. So Bruce leaves the church as he knows that he doesn't have any evidence against Angeli. After a couple of days, Angeli appears on the TV and tells the viewers to believe her story, that satanic cults do exist among them. Bruce tells the police chief the truth and that they fell for Angeli's innocence. She destroyed her whole family just so that she can get away from them. Bruce then tells John everything and that he is innocent. He wants John to plead not guilty and reveal Angeli's truth to everyone, but John refuses and decides to take the blame as he feels responsible for being a drunkard and ruining Angeli's childhood. John hopes that if he takes the blame now, Angeli will forgive him one day for being a bad father. Bruce has no choice but to accept his request, as he too feels responsible for the situation he put John in. The film ends with a statement that there were many cases like this at that time, until the wave of panic subsided and the satanic abuse hysteria faded. Today, regression therapies have been discredited for generating false memories, just like what happened in this film. So this was the story of regression. See you in the next hunt. Subscribe so I can buy a new mic!